Hey y'all, hey, it's another episode of Bonafide Her Podcast featuring the one and only Naimah Muhammad.
Hi,
How you doing?
I'm good. How are you? Thank you for inviting me.
Of course. You know we're blessed to be alive. Hello, but let's get to it. So Miss Naimah, can you tell us like how you got to where you are in your sports journey?
Oh gosh, that's like a that's a long story, but I can give like the simplified version of it. Um, so I'm Naima, and right now I'm a graduating, soon to be graduating senior at Fisk University. I study English and I minor in film studies. Um, and I started gymnastics because I'm a gymnast. But I started gymnastics when I was like 9 years old. I used to do ice skating. So I got put into gymnastics and I just fell in love with it. And older, and I had never really thought about college gymnastics. And then I was like, okay, maybe I could do college gymnastics. I didn't really start thinking about college until I was like a junior or a senior in high school, which is still pretty late. And at the time, I really wanted to go to an HBCU, historically black college or university, because my sister went to one, my brother went to one, and it looks really cool. I saw the Beyonce Coachella performance. I was like, oh, I want to go to an HBCU, but they didn't have any gymnastics programs at an HBCU, so I was just like, you know what, whatever. I'll just go to any school that will take me for gymnastics. And I went to two schools. I went to University of Bridgeport in Connecticut, and I actually withdrew from the school because it was in the height of COVID and it was just too much going on. So I left and I went back home. And then the next year, I enrolled at SUNY Brockport, a college in New York. And I was there for about a year and a half. And then they made an announcement, like on the news or Instagram or something, about Fisk University starting a gymnastics program. And it's HBCU, so it took a lot of thoughts and prayers and consideration, but I decided to come to Fisk and finish the rest of my collegiate career in gymnastics here. And that was like the best decision I could have made. Now here I am.
Yes, because I remember the news that Fisk University was like the first ever HBCU to have its own gymnastic program, and I was like, "Yo, this is amazing!" And I'm like, I'm very familiar with HBCUs. I love HBCUs. Like I went to Mississippi Valley State University online for a graduate degree for
Oh wow.
criminal justice. So I was like, but one of the things I think what caught my eye about HBCUs is like one of the players from the basketball world, Chris Paul, he would literally make during COVID, he would make shoe. He would have shoes or clothing that promoted every HBCU. So
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah, I
I'm
love those.
yeah. So my question is, what was it like to be the first ever HBCU gymnast in NCAA
Oof.
history?
Um, Very surreal. And it was funny because before we got there, like on the flight on the way to Vegas, my coach at the time, Coach T, she pulled me aside and she was like, "Hey, like, come over here. I need to talk to you." I was like, "Okay." I thought I did something. I was like, "Oh God, it wasn't me. Like, I don't care. I didn't do it." And she's like, "What? No." But and they were just kind of going over like lineups and stuff and what like who should go first and whatever. And she basically was like, "So we're trying to figure out who should go first on floor because that was our first event." And she said, "And we want you to be the one to go first on floor," which freaked me out and surprised me because all week, like the whole week leading up to us leaving, I had been messing up in practice. I was falling on my last pass. Like the pressure was really getting to me. There would be like camera crews coming in to like record us practice, and that would freak me out. And then I was just getting a lot of anxiety about it. So in my mind, I'm like, oh God, I might not even get to compete at this meet. And instead, she said that I was going to go first. So that surprised me, but I didn't want it to show on my face. So I was just like, okay, that's fine. I was trying to be really nonchalant about it. She was just like, "Do you believe in yourself?" And I said, "Yeah." She's like, "Because we believe in you," because like her and the other coach, like, "We believe in you and your teammates believe in you, but I need you to believe in yourself." And I was just like, okay. So then we got to Vegas and we had like a team meeting. that night, and she was just like, "So Naimah is gonna go first. You'll be our first HBCU gymnast to compete." And all my teammates are like cheering, like, "Woo!" And I'm just like, "Oh God." And then the day came. We had like a practice day, and then the next day was competition. So it was like we did warm ups, and warm ups felt really good. And then we walked out, and then timed warm ups. It was like a 4 minute touch. So I think I just warmed up like my first pass, and I did like a warm up for the last pass, and I just stopped because I was getting really anxious. And then it was time for me to go, and I watched it back because on the actual video, like the commentators were saying, "Oh, she looks really calm and collected." Like I was freaking out. I don't even remember. Like I saluted, and then the whole routine was basically a blur. Um, and it was at the last pass. I kind of like took a deep breath, and I was just like, I really hope I land on my feet because I hadn't landed on my feet all week during practice, and I did it, and then I just immediately started crying. And I don't think I really realized as much as like, oh, that I'm the first HBCU junior to compete. I'd never even really thought about that. It's taken me literally my entire time here at FIS to realize that, oh, I am the first. Um, really, all I was thinking in that moment was, oh my gosh, I made a routine. And I was really more so thinking about like my whole journey getting to that point and having to transfer and then going through COVID and having my injuries and stuff. So just being able to like complete a routine and having such a tough week after was really all I was thinking about. So now that I'm like, yeah, I'm the first HBCU gymnast, it doesn't really hit me all the time. My friends and my teammates will have to remind me like, you're the first, right? I'm just like, oh yeah. It's a big honor, but I don't know how to like, I don't know, hype myself up like that.
It's like almost like it's almost too surreal. It's like just like how's this happen? Like,
Right. Like I don't know how to. What am I supposed to do with that?
girl, you
Just
better
yeah.
embrace it. Like you are first. Like embrace it. Like because if I was like
Yes.
so. Do you hope to see more HBCU colleges like offer gymnastics like FISC?
Yeah. So Talladega has started a gymnastics team, and they were really successful, but they only lasted about a year. And now there's Wilberforce, and they've had a pretty good start to the season. One of their girls, Diamond Cook, she just went to nationals, and she's the first team All American on floor. So HBCU gymnastics is definitely possible. I mean, we've been here for like 3 years now. Um, and then I know if they don't have gymnastics, like Morgan State, they have acro tumbling, which is kind of like a gymnastics cheer hybrid. It's like it's basically just tumbling, but they do like stunts and stuff like that. And I follow their Instagram, and it's so cool because they'll be like a girl that's like holding her up while she's in a split. Like she'll slide down a split, and the girl's like holding a press hold. It's like really cool. So there's there is definitely a need for it and a want for it, but I guess that's really where like the alumni support and community support comes from because gymnastics isn't an expensive sport. It was a lot easier for a school like Clemson. I remember when Clemson announced they're starting a gymnastics team, and they got their whole gym facility built in like a year, which is easier because it's an SEC school, it's a big school. They have a football team, they have a lot of money coming in. But then you have these smaller HBCUs, and they're basically starting from the ground up from scratch. No gym available, not having all the money in the world to build one, and the alumni support can be there, but it's still not going to be enough for the same like speed as it was for these other schools. So I think there can be more HBC gymnastics. There just needs to be um, the want for it because if people truly want HBC gymnastics, we'll find a way to get that money quickly so that it can happen more.
Yes, because like there's so many resources and revenues that women's sports like, and I was literally typing up about this on Beautiful Ballers blog. Like literally, you have the women's sports. Like there's still a disparity gap between women's sports and versus like the men's popular sports like football and basketball, and it's like
Yeah.
some women's sports don't get the same revenue or resources. Like some don't get like the charter flights or the nice like food stuff. So it's like we trying to bring the awareness. Like I'm pretty sure y'all aware, but like women's sports are here and forever.
Yeah, and it's like with the Final Four, there was so I think it was like the most viewership that it has been like ever. because people actually care. I think I cared more about like the women's basketball Final Four than I did the men's. Like, but not even just me. That I know a lot of like men that were tuned in more into the women's Final Four than into the men's Final Four, to the point where I was just like, oh wait, the men's Final Four is today. I had been so checked out. I didn't even know. Like, I didn't know any of the stuff. Even when you looked at like the ESPN Instagram pages and stuff, I would see some things about like the men's games, but the majority of it was like, oh, we got your bracket for South Carolina or UConn, and I'm just like, oh my god, nobody. Not that nobody cares, but there has been more of an emphasis for women's sports, which, in my opinion, if that can be done for basketball, that can be done for sports like gymnastics. Gymnastics also has been like broadcasted a whole lot more on the big major broadcasting networks and stuff. So there's a want and there's a need for women's sports. Women's flag football is like making a huge I'd come up all of a sudden. I don't know what's going on, but I was like, man, maybe I should do flag football now that I'm retired. Like, I need something else to do. I don't mind doing flag football or something. Like, everyone watches women's sports. So I feel like even more people would want to watch HBCU gymnastics just the same because it's fun. Why not?
Yes, because and you mentioned like I was first, it's crazy. So I was first introduced to like watching a little bit, kind of watching gymnastics or clips, and it was the UCLA gymnastic ones. So
Oh,
like Nia Dennis and the other girls, like, oh, I was like, the way they just performed, like
they're
the,
amazing. It's perfect.
I'm like.
Literally.
I'm just like, this is what it's about. Like they show their creativity. Like I remember one of them did like performed a routine for Janet Jackson. I was like, yes. And then
Oh, I can't
another
remember
one,
who that was. I think no, I don't know who that was. I know what you're talking about. I forget who did that routine.
and
That's
another
not
one
okay.
did like a DMX one. I'm like, yes. So
Oh, I remember that one. I forget her name. Oh God, I love UCLA, and I can't remember any of the girls right now off the top of my head.
my question is like, how important is representation when it comes to women's sports, especially seeing like, as you being a first HBCU gymnast in NCAA history, but also seeing, Black women, taking over the gymnastic world like Simone Biles, Jordan Childs.
It's it's extremely important because I needed that when I was younger. And it's crazy going to competitions, whether I'm competing at those competitions. I would go to competitions and like these little girls want me to like sign autographs and stuff or like, can I take a picture with you? I'm just like, what? Okay, I guess. Um, and it's not even in the sense of like I don't feel like I'm the most popular or I don't feel like I'm the most like iconic on the team or anything like that or that I'm like the best gymnast out there, but that's not really what's important to them. What's important to them is whether or not I'm competing on the floor, whether or not I'm just there to be supportive of my teammates. It's like, wow, look at this gymnast out there on the big screen and she looks like me. I didn't have that until when I started watching gymnastics. I was like 9. Like I got introduced to gymnastics because I saw Gabby Douglas competing on floor, and that completely blew my mind. I was just like, oh my gosh, like she looks like me, and she's tumbling and doing all this stuff. And so like, I didn't know what tumbling was back then, but I'm just like, she's doing all this cool stuff, and she has this big smile on her face. She looked so happy, and she was being authentically herself. So I wanted that for myself, and being that for these other girls is the greatest thing ever. And every time I go home in the summer, like for summer break and stuff, I will go home and all these little girls are just like, "Oh my god, come watch me do this skill! I got this skill!" Uh, and they want to go to Fisk now. They don't know what Fisk is. They still don't. They're just like, "I want to go to Fisk just like you," and that's important because when you don't have that, you don't think you're capable of doing those things. I would have never thought. I mean, I didn't know what gymnastics was. I would have never thought I would ever be in a position to do these tricks and flips and stuff like a Jordan Childs or a Gabby Douglas because I never saw that until I turned on the TV one day and there it was in front of me. So when you're able to see that representation, it kind of ignites a fire in you that, oh, I can do this too. Even if it's not that exact thing, it's like, oh, I can do something like that. Or I am inspired to be the best in this field, just like she is, just like he is. Like having that type of representation you'll be surprised how much that like can change a child's entire life in an instant. It's amazing.
Absolutely. And, you know, also like just to see, you just saw like the 2024 Olympics and seeing the everybody wanted to watch, the gymnastics and stuff. Like this is the crazy part to me. Blew my mind. Like the fact that they took away Jordan Child's bronze medal, and I'm like, why
Yeah.
did you do that? Like, why? So, like, it's like, man, like we just can't have nothing.
At
Just
all. That's okay because she's good. She's like, I'm that girl. I need to get her book. She just came out with a book, and I have not read it or got it yet, and I need to do that because I want to read it so bad. Because I think she talks about all of that, like everything in Tokyo, and just her feelings and emotions and persevering through stuff while she was on that path. Like, I need to read that book for myself. I need to get it.
speaking of feelings, like I always say that athletes are humans first, and when it comes to athletes and mental health, it is a huge part for me. So, as you know, as a black woman and a gymnast, how and a college athlete, how important is mental health?
The most important thing ever. And I'm not gonna lie, my first really honestly, truly, really my entire college career up until this last year, I've completely neglected my mental health. It was just like on the back burner because I think there is a difference between like your mental health and pushing through adversity. A lot of times for athletes it's like you got to push through, you got to always be the best, you got to work through it, even if you're tired, keep going, keep going. So that's always the mindset, but I don't think there's ever a mindset of like, yes, you need to push through adversity and be determined and like don't be lazy. Like there's all types of things that are good motivators that you need to do. But I think where it gets lost in translation is like that's the only thing you need to be doing. No one tells you how you need to push through adversity and do this and do that. But then how you take care of yourself after that. What's the self-care process for your mental after that? After you pushed through adversity and you were crying and tired and hurting and you had to keep going, okay, now that you got through it, how are you taking care of yourself after you got through it? And it took me basically until this year to really understand that because this was like the hardest gymnastics year I think I've ever had, ever. Um, and I really had to like take a step back and think about, okay, well, why am I here? Why am I doing this sport in the first place? Like, I came all the way to Nashville. I left New York to come to Nashville to do gymnastics. And now I'm not enjoying doing gymnastics. Like, why did I even start doing gymnastics in the first place? Like, kind of having to like rework my thoughts and take a step back and really look at it from an outside perspective of like, okay, well, why am I doing this? I want to have fun. I saw a girl do it on TV. It looked like she was having the time of her life, and that's what I wanted for myself. So having to kind of focus on me and taking a step back and thinking about what I needed for myself made me reevaluate everything. So I started going to therapy, and it was just it was very much needed. I was really scared at first because, I've looked into the mental health stuff before, and I was just like, okay, like I don't really want to talk to anyone about anything. Like I just want to focus on what I need to focus on, or just ignore it. Um, and I think my first session, like I just broke down and cried because I didn't realize how much I was actually holding in that I wasn't expressing with anyone because I didn't feel like I could or that I knew how, and it just all fell out. And I felt so much better afterwards. I was just like, oh, that was scary, but I needed that. And it also was inspiring seeing Simone Biles like openly talk about like her mental health and like her going to therapy and having to basically stop the Olympics in order to take care of herself. And it took her like 2 years to take care of herself before she came back. And that that was huge to me because especially for gymnasts, I don't know how it is in any other sport, but like we really don't get a break, especially in like college or even high school. It's really just you have your season really is from in college, January to April, and then you have summer break. But during summer break, you need to be training because when you come back in the spring, you need to have your skills. for preseason to get ready for your team. So you're really doing gymnastics all year round. And I've never really had a break or anything. Even when I was younger, my family would want to go on vacations and stuff. I'm like, ooh, I got practice. Or I would go on vacation and I would be working out on vacation. I cannot think of one vacation I've ever gone on where I wasn't doing some type of workout, not because it's to be healthy or to feel good or because I want to. It's because, no, I have gymnastics when I get back. I need to make sure I'm ready. And that type of mentality has damaged me so bad over the years. Every time I compete, like, I still do this. I will call my dad. And I talked to my therapist about it. I was like, because she was trying to figure out where's your anxiety coming from. But every time I compete, I would talk to my dad to talk me through my routine or talk me down because I would get so anxious and freaked out. And she's like, yeah, that's a trauma response. That's an anxiety response. I was like, oh, I thought he was just like being my hype man, like being a coach. She's like, no, like every time. But I've noticed every time I feel like I'm gonna break down or I need to be calmed down, I call my dad because that's how I get through my anxiety and stuff. But I didn't realize it was anxiety until she really explained it to me. Like, you are relying on your dad to express these anxious thoughts. And I was like, oh God, I need help. So realizing exactly how much the sport has affected me mentally, and not even just the sport, even if it was stuff happening outside of the sport, but I come to practice to kind of ignore it, was damaging to me. So now that I'm retired and done with the sport, looking back on it, it's like, I wish that when I was younger, I was able to take more care of myself and really focus on my mental health and really, when I needed a break, take those breaks and not feel bad about taking the breaks that I really, really did need. So I think athletes now, they need that. Like, it's a good thing now. I feel like some things have been better. I feel like athletes now are making more of an effort to talk about mental health, but there's still blurred lines between what is mental health and what is like perseverance, and that is where it gets really, we need to work on that.
For sure. Like, and I think the performance anxiety is so underrated. Like in
Oh, it's
talk.
bad. I got it bad. Performance anxiety, and it's so crazy because you would think like, what? Oh, I've been doing this for college gymnastics for 5 years. Like I have the experience, but it never goes away. And I had a coach that once said to me like, "Oh, that's just because you care." And I'm like, okay, like that makes me feel better. Like, oh, I'm anxious because I care. But then I thought about it, and I was just like, I I don't know. Like I do care, but do I care enough to the point where it's like I'm literally physically shaking and I feel like I'm gonna throw up every single time if I've been doing this for so long. And that would start to make me compare myself to other gymnasts. Because I would see other gymnasts on TV or like I'll hear commentators talk about them or even some of my own teammates and I was just like, they're always are so calm and collected. But in reality, a lot of the times, no, they're just as anxious. They just show it differently. And we've had like different talks and meetings before with my teammates at this, like, okay, like if I do this, like I need people to talk. I need you to talk to me. I need you to talk to me in order to calm me down. Or some people are more like just no one talk to me at all because I'm the type of person that like when I'm about to go, nobody talks to me. I only let certain people talk to me because if anyone else talks to me, I'm superstitious like that. It's gonna mess me up. So like it's there. It's like the performance anxiety. I shouldn't be getting that, but it's a normal thing. Every athlete has some type of performance anxiety. I feel like for gymnastics, it's just really different because it's different from like a football or a basketball. It's like you're really doing it more so as a team. It's a team effort. Um, and you have multiple chances. Football, there's a first down, second, third, fourth. You have like four chances to get it done. Gymnastics is like one and done. You only have the one chance, and it's only you up there. It's not you and your team and somebody passing the ball. It's you up there performing. People are critiquing you and judging you and picking you apart, saying, "Oh, this is a deduction. This is wrong. This is wrong," and you're trying your best to be perfect. The whole point of gymnastics is to reach perfection, and knowing that you're most likely not going to reach it unless you're a certain type of gymnast, that gives you a lot of anxiety. Like a lot.
Man, like especially like if you work like certain like schools or programs, they may have a certain system that you have to adapt to, and it's like maybe you're not used to that system, so it's like, man, this is put more pressure on me and
Oh yeah.
everything. So, but my question for you is, and we were just, and this is a crazy thing, we were just talking about this before we went. live is we're literally just talking about athletes.org. And for those that don't know what athletes.org, like we can maybe explain it, but she may explain it more. I mean, I know what it is, but what's it like to have, you know, a a brand athletes or .org to a represent college athletes, especially being like the first players association for college.
So I'm just mad because I wish I knew about it sooner. Um, one of the girls, like the one of the people that runs athletes.org, Zoe, she was a gymnast, I'm pretty sure at Ohio State. I think we've competed against each other before a couple of years ago. I think she was at Ohio, and I
Yeah,
was
she
at
was at
the
Ohio State. Ohio
yeah,
State.
at Ohio State. I think it was at we were at the Georgia meet. I'm pretty sure was when we competed against Ohio. Maybe it was Rutgers. I think it was Georgia though. So if I had known about it sooner, I probably would have like done more with it. But they have been really, really helpful. I really like how they are educating athletes about like, hey, you guys are really special. And people are profiting off of that. And basically just giving athletes representation, ways to kind of rebrand themselves or also like earn what they're owed to rebrand themselves. They offer different resources and legal representations. I really learned a lot from athletes.org, especially with the whole House versus NCAA settlement that's going on. Especially with someone like me that's like a fifth year and that has been like transferring, going back and forth through schools, but even more so, it's like I have so many floor routines that have gone viral, or I've been on a team that has gone viral several times, and we have like sure people have reached out to us and like given us donations and gifts and stuff like that just because like of the viralness and everything. But like us as athletes in particular don't get paid unless it's through scholarships. And for me in particular, it's crazy because you know I am the first, and a lot of times I do have to go places and speak and do appearances and things like that, and I don't get paid for that. It's just all like volunteer. And I love service and volunteering as much as anybody else. But at some point, it's like I am really here doing gymnastics and I'm not getting paid for it, but there is like a market for it. It's the craziest thing ever. And it's not even just me. There's so many other gymnasts out there and just athletes in general that are going viral, that are getting all this hype and attention, and they're not getting paid because they're students. That's what basically everyone else is saying. Like, oh, they're not employees. Well, if I'm coming into the gym basically every day at the crack of dawn to do lifts and then have me come work out and then I have to go to class and I have meetings and I have that's basically a full work day. Like I just feel like especially because now with, even with college teams, like everyone has a favorite college team. I love UCLA and LSU is like a close second. Really UCLA, LSU and MSU are tied. Like I have my favorite college sports teams for gymnastics. I have my favorite college football teams. Like it's a really is a business, but the students aren't really the ones that are getting anything benefited from it. But even besides money, I really like how they're focused on as representation for athletes. Like it's not even just NIL; it's your health and your safety. Coaches and athletic directors they have guaranteed contracts for their safety, and if something happens, like they're protected in a way. And the athletes, the students aren't. And you hear so many like horror stories of students that weren't protected from their school when they needed it the most, and that is just it's the worst thing ever, especially when you're an athlete and you're basically giving your all for the school to make money. And that's like a joke that I was me and my teammates would say all the time. Like, man, we bring so much money to the school. Like, I need some of that. If I could make as much as I brought to the school, I would be the best ever. Um, so I really like how they're really helping students and they're really helping college athletes understand their values. And it is more than just you're more than just your sport, and you should be treated as such. That's like the main message, and I absolutely love that. Really
Absolutely.
sad about the creator's tourney though. Wish I got through it to the end.
Man, it was so like, and I was saying like, I entered it and I was trying to like, okay, like, and as like for me, I advocate for the college athletes. I mean, I was a student athlete manager for a mid major, so like, I understand how like the college athletes work. Like, imagine getting up at 5 in the morning to do workouts and stuff. So it's like when people like would say, "Oh, college athletes have it so good. They
Oh my god, the
ride."
amount of
I'm
times
like,
I've
that's a
heard that.
misconception.
It's so irritating. I always hear that all the time. Like, oh, athletes get everything. I'm just like, I wish you guys could
Walk
literally
in the
live my
shoes.
life for a day, just a day. So I want you to go to practice early in the morning. Then I want you to go to lift. Then I want you to make it to your 9:30 a.m. class. Then I want you to do homework, and then I want you to repeat everything and find a way to eat involved on your campus and stuff. Like me personally, I am very much involved on campus outside of gymnastics. So it would be really hard sometimes to have to wake up really early to go to practice, and then I have class, and then after class I have a meeting, and then I have to do this because I work in admissions. I have to help with the admissions office, and then I have to go to my other class, and then we got lift, and I gotta go to lift, and then I need to find time to eat. Sometimes I'll go the entire day and be like, oh my god, I forgot to eat today, and dinner will be like my first meal at like 6 o'clock at night. I'm like, oh, this was the first thing I ate today because I've been so busy I completely forgot. But the assumption is just like athletes get everything because I will say I personally have walked around with my new backpack and my gear. Like, yes, we get gear and stuff like that, and people are always posting about us on like the Instagram pages and stuff. Like, there is a lot of hype around athletes, like college athletes. They always get a lot of hype, but that is because of the work that's put into it. It's not just a free for all because it's exhausting. It really is. But I think there is just a stigma that college athletes, like, oh, like people that aren't athletes, they don't understand because they're just like, oh, they're getting paid, like they're getting all this gear and they have all this stuff, everything's about them. And it's like, well, the hype is around us, but everything else we really do have to work in order to get to that point. Like, it is really, really hard. Just I'm so glad I don't gotta wake up at 5 in the morning anymore. I sleep in as much as I can now.
Girl, I know that's right, because Lord, have mercy.
I'm not. If I don't have to wake up early, I don't do it anymore. I think the earliest I'll get up now is like 8. And to some people, that's still early, but that's having to wake up for them 5 a.m. Like, I'm never doing that ever again.
Girl, I used to wake up at 5 in the morning for other things to set up, and I'm like, yo, like I had to, and I try to get to bed early, but I'm like, I can't do this. This is
I can't. Now when I have to get up early for something, I'm just like, I'm having trauma responses, like PTSD. I'm like, oh no, I can't do that anymore. I'll just do it later in the day.
like I can't even deal with like I don't want to deal with 11:59 p.m. Deadlines for papers on homework.
Oh no. And the worst thing is, it's like I can't even turn it in. That's not even my deadline because I gotta go to bed. If I don't go to bed at a certain time, I would not be able to get up in the morning for practice. So I would make my bedtime would be like 9:30, 10:30 at the latest. So any assignments that were due at 11:59, I was like, I got to turn it in at 10 because I need to go to bed to get up for practice. So I'll be so tired some days I don't even know what I wrote on the page. I'm just like, I'm just gonna write it, and if it's good, it's good. If it's bad, it's bad. But at least it's submitted. Oh well.
Man,
Couldn't have been that bad. I'm graduating, so
I don't
this thing
miss
was the
the
worst.
I don't miss those. I don't miss like the group projects. I don't miss none of that. I just that's it. Like I don't miss the group projects. I don't miss
The
the
group
turn.
projects would be the worst because I'd be like, hey, so I'm actually traveling this weekend and I can't do this part of the assignment. So, and people get mad at me and I'm just like, I'm sorry, there's nothing I can do. I gotta go.
And then some of the people that's in groups, they don't even participate or partake in doing
In
it. So it's like,
anything.
so I'm like, so I'm doing all this work, and then y'all just look here, like come in and just stand there, look pretty, and thinking y'all did the work, and don't even
You didn't do
rehearse.
anything.
Okay, like I'm not trying to fail. Like y'all not gonna make me fail because I did the
Because
work.
then I'm gonna get in trouble with my coach if I do. So everyone put in the work, please.
Like I need this. Like, but my question for you is, what was the transition like for you? Like from competing in college to, the retirement.
Oh, it was kind of hard. I think really leading up to it, um, I kind of had an idea and I knew, yeah, I need to be done soon because really in preseason, so preseason started and my back was hurting. I hurt my back, um, which was crazy because I've never really had back issues before. I've gone to chiropractors and stuff, a lot in gymnastics, but I've never had a back issue, and I still don't know really exactly what is wrong with my back. It does still hurt every now and then. I was supposed to go get like an MRI or something, but I got scared. I was like, I'm not gonna get anything until after the season, so I don't freak myself out because who knows what they're gonna say. So my back was hurting. I took like a month and a half, basically almost 2 months off, just to rest my back because it got to the point where I couldn't even. I would go and do a warm up turn. I'd do like a round off handspring layout, and my back would start hurting, and I can't breathe. I'm just like, whew, or I can't do. I really couldn't do anything without my back really hurting. So I had to take some time off for that, and then came back. I was doing better, and season started, and I just wasn't mentally. Of course, I was going to therapy and stuff, so that was helping. But still, I could just kind of feel like yeah, this is gonna my season will be cut short. And it wasn't necessarily like anyone else telling me that my season would be cut short. I really was the one telling myself that I'm gonna cut my season short. Which if you had said that to me like last year me, or even 2 years ago me, I would have been like, oh, no matter what, I'm finishing out this season strong. But the me now, I realize, one, mentally I'm drained and I'm mentally exhausted. And I think that if I continue anymore, I'm gonna do damage to myself, like long term. I didn't want that. And then two, physically I'm damaged. So when you got the mentally and the physically, that made me three, emotionally hurting all the time. And I was really falling out of love with the sport. Like I would hate every time I woke up in the morning, I was dreading it. I was just like, "Ugh, I could go back to sleep and then just like not go." But then I'm just, I end up going anyway. Every athlete's just like, oh, I'm not going to practice today. And you're the first one there. But I was really starting to hate and resent gymnastics. And I didn't want that to be the case. So I did have to take a step back. I really didn't compete that much all season. Technically, because I barely compete, I think I only competed like once or twice. Technically, yeah, technically I could take another year of gymnastics, but I'm not going to, and I know I'm not going to. I don't have any plans to go to the Olympics or anything. I'm not trying to like go win a world medal or nothing. I did this sport because it looks like fun, and I wanted to do something fun, and I did that. So I basically had told my coaches like, look, because we had two meets left before nationals. We had the meet in Louisiana on the seventh or the eighth, the seventh, or I think it was the eighth maybe. And then we had a week off, like a bye week, and then the next week after that, we were supposed to go to Oregon State. So I kind of told them like, I've decided that the Louisiana meet is gonna be my last meet. Like I'm not going to Oregon State. Like I told them that I said I'm not going to Oregon State. I don't want one. I didn't want to go Oregon State. That traveling, oh my god, we had to go in a plane and then go there, stay there for like we'd be leaving on like Wednesday and not come back until Friday the next week. Like who knows? Like we'd just be there forever. So I was just like I don't I don't think I can do this. Um, and they were okay with it, and I just started crying because it's like in my mind, like to me, I truly thought, oh, I'm gonna be doing gymnastics forever. Like you couldn't tell 9-year-old me, oh, I'm gonna be doing gymnastics until I'm 40. I thought I was gonna be flipped. Who is that? There's a woman from Romania, and she's still doing gymnastics. Like she's been to every Olympics since like '96 or something like that. But I thought I was gonna be her. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna be doing gymnastics even after I have kids. I'm gonna do gymnastics. I'm gonna do gymnastics forever. And I kind of realized, I know I'm not gonna do gymnastics forever, and that I hurt my own feelings. I was kind of mad at myself. Like, am I really gonna stop doing gymnastics? Like, I feel like my identity was so tied to just gymnastics. Like, people would look at me and they know me because I do gymnastics. And I realized that kind of early on when I got here that people only knew me because, oh, you're on the gymnastics team. So I was like, okay, I don't want that to happen. That's why I started like getting into so many different clubs and organizations on campus because I didn't want to just be known as just a gymnast. I wanted to be more than just a gymnast. So, and then this whole last year, I was able to do like really cool, fun stuff. Like I started taking dance classes for one. And then I also have been able to do a lot of like sports journalism stuff. I've started working at our school's media relations center and just doing all types of sports engagements. The Athletes Unlimited pro basketball tournament was here in Nashville, and I was able to like work a game there and meet some of the ESPN analysts. Like that stuff was like really cool to me. And being able to do these things, I just realized, you know what? Like, I'm okay with stopping gymnastics to focus on other things that I really do care about. So that transition for me was really, it was hard. I did cry a lot. I sometimes I was just like, oh my god, I can't believe I'm about to be done. But then other days I was just like, oh, I cannot wait to be done. There'd be sometimes I'd be at practice and I was just like, I cannot wait until I don't gotta come here no more. I'm ready to be done. But I remember the day of like the last meet, I was getting ready and I was in the bathroom and I was just doing my makeup, whatever, whatever. And I just got really sad all of a sudden because I don't know what happened. I was just like, fine. I was like, yes, last meet, last one, best one, whatever, whatever, listening to my hype up music. And then I just like immediately started crying. So I called my dad. Like, Dad, I'm sad. And so he was just talking to me and stuff. And I was bawling, crying. I had to wipe off my makeup and redo it twice because I was crying so hard because I could not believe this was about to be my last time doing gymnastics. And I really think it's because, like, yeah, I've been doing it forever since I was little. I've been doing it, but not even just that. It's just all the opportunities and the experience I've gotten has been because of gymnastics. I wouldn't have been able to, you know, have such a good following on Instagram or know all these girls that want me to sign autographs and go to these camps and clinics and coaching and doing sports analytic stuff if I wasn't here doing gymnastics. I wouldn't be the first if there was nothing to be the first of. I'm the first HBCU gymnast because I decided to come here to do gymnastics. So in a way, I kind of felt like I owed it to gymnastics. Like I don't even know if that makes sense. I just kind of felt like I owe gymnastics something because in my mind I was like, well, gymnastics that made me where I am now. That's where I am today is because of gymnastics. But then at the same time, it's like, no, I did that. I've done that. That was me. So I'm very grateful to gymnastics for everything that it's taught me that I've done because of it. But I just knew I'd have to know when it was time to let go. And when I finally did let go, it was it was really sad at first. I think that whole day I was really, really emotional. And when we got back, I was still emotional. And then after like a good 48 hours, I was good. I was ready to just focus on getting through finals and packing up and like dealing with the real world stuff now that I'm done with gymnastics. So it was really hard for me, but I think it just took me a couple of days to really reassess that, okay, I am more than an athlete. So it's okay because I have other stuff going for me that I care about more than just gymnastics.
Girl, facts right there. Like, yes, you are more than your sport. Yes, you are more than your athlete. And man, like, I think that would be hard for me to retire. I don't know. But then again, sometimes, but you got to realize, sometimes that sport, like, you're going to have to put that ball or the tumbling down. So,
Yeah.
but I always ask my guests this question because Bonafide means authentic and unique. So, what
Ooh.
makes Naima Muhammad? I hope I said your name right.
You
Please.
did, Naimah. Yeah, you said it right.
Okay. Whew. I just want to make sure I said it right, cause so what makes Naima Muhammad bona fide, and how would you describe your journey?
Hmm. Okay, so I'm not gonna say anything gymnastics related because I already said there's more stuff to me than just gymnastics. Something that makes me bona fide and authentic and unique is I always try to be the most genuine version of me as possible all the time. So whether that's in the gym, outside of the gym, in private or in public, you can ask anyone. I'm crazy. I am crazy. I am. I say crazy stuff. I do crazy things. Like I'm silly. I'm goofy. I've always been that way. I was on the phone with my mom the other day, and she was just like, "You are dramatic. Like you've always been like dramatic." I was like, "Oh my gosh, what?" Like my boyfriend calls me dramatic. My friends, my teammates call me dramatic. Everyone thinks I'm dramatic, and I do the most. And that is true. I always do the most, and I think that is the most authentic thing about me is that I'm always doing the most and I've always done the most ever. And I would describe my journey as being and doing the most because how I got here was just, it was the most. Global pandemic, And then I went to school, and then I withdrew because I was like, I'm not feeling it. So I left, and then I went to a new school, and then I was like, I want to go to HBCU now. So then I left there. My journey, I can only describe as me doing the most and being the most, and that's all I know how to do. So that's how I'm bona fide, and that's how I'm authentic, because I'm dramatic, and everything about my life is as dramatic as possible. Even if there's nothing dramatic going on, I'll find a way to make it dramatic. I don't know if
Girl,
that's a good thing.
you
Maybe that's not good. But
no, it's great. It's like you being honest. So like honesty is the best policy. You know, the truth is the best medicine. So girl, and just know you are doing amazing. You are amazing. Always know that. And you know, you should always be proud of yourself. Like especially like how far you've come. And I just want to give you my flowers because like yeah, we just met, but just to be just for you to like you are genuine. You are, you know, beautiful person inside out, and I could tell. And
oh,
you know, I just want to give you my flowers to you. So,
thank you. I appreciate that. I love that. Thank you.
of course. So, can you let the folks know how where they can find you, support you, if there's any upcoming events happening for you?
Okay. So Instagram is at it's underscore Naimah 24. That's where I'm most active. I'm just started trying to get on TikTok, and it has been working. So TikTok is at it's underscore Nai, which is NAI. That's Instagram, TikTok. I don't really use Twitter or X or whatever. I don't really use that, so you won't find me there. I can't. I think the last time I used Twitter was like last year, maybe. I don't know. YouTube, I've been slacking real bad on YouTube. I have not uploaded a YouTube video since January, but I'm working on getting back to my YouTube. I'm pretty sure my YouTube is Life of Nai One, like at Life of Nai One. If you just look it up somewhere, you'll find it. But I'm pretty sure that's the YouTube. I'm working on getting more active on there, so that's coming too.
Girl, I will say from hearing your TikTok is working, especially you got that win
The
PR
PR
box.
package, yes, I did that through TikTok.
Because I could just
Trying.
tell you're like, oh my gosh, I got it. I was like,
I was literally on TikTok making videos for it was like 40 something days. And I was just like, somebody's going to give me something. And they DM'd me, like, we'd love to give you a PR box. I was like, oh my God, they saw me. Oh my God, they know I exist. No way.
and not to mention it's founded by Serena Williams. So it's like,
oh, absolutely. So in the back of my mind, I'm like, okay, Serena Williams knows me. She knows me now because her brand sent me a package. So Serena Williams, we're best friends now. In my mind, that's how I'm looking at it.
so it's like, can't nobody tell me anything. Like this is my
Exactly.
moment. So it's like, y'all can't tell me nothing. Like I'm just enjoying this moment. This is like the best part so far this year. So
Exactly. Highlight of the year. Win Beauty PR package.
I know that's right. So thank you guys for tuning in to Bonafide Her Podcast episode 128. You could check out the live replay of episode 128 after this. Big shout out to Naimah Muhammad for coming in and sharing your story. Thank you guys for tuning in. Peace.